you need tonight. A little something to whet your appetite, and it's gonna make you feel alright. Sweet Gravy and Carmen Kirk, check them out as they go to work. Congratulations on your new podcast. Now open up a can of whoop ass and blast, blast, blast. This is Angelo, and I hope you like this show. Wow. Yeah.
Ooh, and welcome back to another episode of Sweet Gravy. Carmen, every time it's like dong dong dong. I love it.
Yeah.
It's a great way, I feel like, to wrap things up. It's like, okay, we're at the end. Dong dong dong. It's like a definitive, we're done.
Well, I think you're a person who you like things. You like to listen to things, or anything that you find is really good. You like it over and over and over and over again.
I'm repetitive.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you like a song, you'll listen to that song over and over and over and over.
Like what?
Or anything. Like Ween. For example.
Well, I don't feel like I listen to
not
Ween
that,
over and over again. But right now there's a new song that I've found from the Detroit Grand Pubas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called One Hump or Two. And it starts off there like, ooh, gotta hump it. Ooh, gotta hump it. Hump, hump, ooh, hump, hump.
It's obnoxious.
Ooh, gotta hump it. Ooh, gotta hump it. Hump, hump, hump.
Okay.
And I love it because it is ridiculous, And then,
the song itself is repetitive.
Right, yeah. The song is repetitive, and I repeat it. So, and then I'm coming when I'm getting ready to get to work. It's like a little pump up song I got going. Ooh, hump it. Ooh, hump it. Hump, hump.
Okay, that's enough. You got to stop this.
Okay.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You're also a guy who likes you like food music.
Well, yeah, we talked about this with Barnsey. Yeah. The Biz Markie, he's got some pretty good food songs.
He's not the only one though. I feel like it's a lot of people who's made.
Well, Ween, you just mentioned before.
Yeah.
Ween, they've got some food songs. A lot, many of them related to a pork roll, egg and cheese.
Yeah.
A beautiful breakfast sandwich.
One day I'm gonna try that with you.
You have tried it.
I don't like that.
You haven't had your own, but you have tried mine before.
I don't think I have.
Yeah.
I took a small bite.
Yeah, you took like a little bite.
But
you took one of those girlfriend bites, where like, the boyfriend's like, you should try it. It's really good. And then you're like, okay. And you just take a little tiniest little bite, and like, oh, wow. Mm-hmm. And then apparently you didn't like the bread that you got. Because that's all that you took out of the bite, You're like, oh no, that's enough.
Yeah.
But
it just reminds me of Spam.
Uh-huh.
Like it's a Spam situation.
Well, pork roll is like a
Spam
bologna type thing. It's like a hybrid of the two.
I'm telling you, after that horrific time where I was high and I came upstairs in my mom's house with the munchies and Tony was staying there at the time. And he had just a slab of...
Your brother, Tony?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He had just a slab of Spam sitting on the table.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I'm going to get a piece of that
because
meat.
it looks good. That pink meat. That pink meat looks good.
It looked
right?
like a piece of ham. And I was like, oh, I got some cheddar in the refrigerator. Perfect. I'm going to get some ham and cheese on a cracker.
Right.
I took one bite and I was like, this is not right. Mm-hmm. What the fuck is this?
Right.
And he was like, that's what you get. It's Spam. You were supposed to cook it.
Oh, man. It's so salty. Make you thirsty.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Give you the thirst for sure.
Mm-hmm. They said that's why you're supposed to give away things like pretzels and nuts and bars, right? Because it makes people more thirsty. Mm-hmm. That's a good strategy.
Right.
Yeah. Who do you think thought about that?
I don't know. Businessman.
Yeah, for real. Like, that's a really good one.
Like you go to $3 Dewey's, they'll give you popcorn.
Yeah. I mean, all the bars do it, but somebody had to put that into play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, pretty good. I think it's a good little strategy.
Yeah, but then you think about all the drunk people eating the nuts, eating
Right.
the popcorns.
Right.
You're like, ugh, that's kind of gross. Even though, like
That's
Rosie's
$3 dude's problem. They have popcorn all over the floor because people.
popcorn all over the floor, you know. But there are also bars out there that have shelled peanuts, you know, and
Oh,
and
yeah.
you just throw them on the ground, and then
That's crazy.
but then they sweep it up, and it, as the nuts go through, it polishes the floor when you sweep it off.
Okay, that shit is a mess.
What?
And I bet you ain't nobody doing that right now, considering everybody's short staffed.
Uh-huh.
Like that's just extra. But I don't know. I like little hacks like that. Your mom send me things like that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Little hacks and tricks and like
Right.
cupcake videos and stuff like that.
Nice.
I'm always like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like somebody I saw on Facebook today, somebody opened up the cap inside the washing machine and poured the laundry detergent inside. And they was like, I was 31 years old when I realized that detergent.
Open the cap in the laundry machine.
Yeah. You know how you can pour the detergent inside of the little cup that's in there?
On the side of it.
In the washer.
In the middle of it.
Right in the middle of it.
Okay, in the agitator.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And people were talking about that. Like,
Mhm.
I had no clue. So she sent videos like that, little hacks and things.
Right.
So it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We're pod people, though. We've become pod people. I love the pods.
Mm-hmm.
I love the pods because some people, they get the lid to the detergent and then they fill it all the way up to the top.
Mm-hmm.
And then they pour it into the thing, and then your clothes have, you know, detergent on it after like it's done.
Mm-hmm.
But with the pod, you throw a pod in there, and then it's all measured. It's good to go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I never was into pods before me and you got together. I think that you've turned me on to a lot of things that's more convenient in life.
Right.
Like you live life smarter, not harder, I think, and I'm opposite.
Right. When we were in, when we were on Catalina, they had Tide floor cleaner, right? Mm-hmm. And they had us using this Tide floor cleaner as laundry detergent. Mm-hmm. And they're like, it's the same thing. Yes, it can be used to clean floors, but it's actually the same thing. And it came in little pods. But the plastic, there's something about it. It wouldn't dissolve, and then you'd end up with the plastic pod.
Yeah, with just an empty package.
And it would just be an empty. It would still be in there.
Yeah.
It wouldn't dissolve all the way, and it wasn't plastic. It was, you know, something that should. Something was going on with those pods because they didn't work.
But I mean, it's better to. I don't care if I got to use that to wash my clothes if I don't have anything else. I'm not gonna just have dirty clothes.
Right.
So that's. I worked in the kitchen. That's a pretty typical thing.
Mm-hmm.
Guys will just like go days without washing.
Right.
It's like shit. You better go use that stuff.
You know, I talk a lot about my sweat, my sweatness.
Yeah.
In my pantral regions, and I was texting with a buddy of mine, and he was like, whenever you sweat through your shorts, do you wear them the next day? And I said I wouldn't wear my shorts the next day anyway. I was like, I wouldn't wear them the next day if I didn't sweat through the shorts. Why would I wear them? You know,
They're gonna be. I already been throwing them in the washer before you get a chance to wear them the second day. But yeah. So I take it he wear his the next day.
I believe he goes like a week without them.
Oh my
I think he
fucking
wears.
God.
I think he wears them until they smell, until he smells them. Because I think a lot of people will think that they're like, if you smell yourself before other people smell yourself. But I disagree. I think if you start to smell yourself, everybody else already smelled you.
I don't know. I think that I'm pretty self-aware if I stink or not. Like I'm always checking
But you're also
myself.
used to your own smells.
Yeah,
right?
but I know. But if you take a shower and wear clean clothes,
You typically wouldn't smell.
right?
Right. But maybe you do though.
Yeah, but then something else is wrong.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not musty. And I'm not, you know what I'm saying? My
Right.
clothes don't smell dirty.
Uh-huh.
So most people, they get that musty, stale smell to them.
Right.
And that, like, if you musty, that's one thing. But once you get to the stale part, it's like, okay, you've been going days.
You got he's
You're
on
not
the
regularly.
He's on the musty right now, but he hasn't hit that stale yet.
Yeah, then you start getting stale, and it's like, all right, now
Ooh,
something going on.
it's stale. Ooh,
Yeah.
it's stale. Stale.
I'm telling you, I've told you that multiple times. I don't tolerate that in the workplace. If that's not a pet peeve, I don't know what is. But
Right.
I'm short, so people
You're short,
have
so
to
you're
reach
at
over
armpit
me.
length, yeah.
Exactly, and people always reach over me. And if you stinking and reach over me, I feel like you assaulted me. Like, I have to speak up for myself.
Right.
Why would you do that? Oh, so it's so uncomfortable for some people. But you know what people do? They walk around and they be like, such and such stinks.
They stink.
Yeah, they talk about it behind their back, and they won't say it to their face. And I'll be like, you stink. Everybody knows.
You'd be like, everybody's talking about you.
Everybody
how much
talking
you
about
smell.
how much you smell bad. That's in the handbook. I hit them with the handbook. That's in the handbook. That's part of policy, hygiene, and it is.
Right.
And we all signed it. So I'm gonna have to go to human resources about you if you don't get it together.
You're the human resource lady.
No, I would never do that.
No?
No, absolutely not. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's so tattletale.
Right. Not even if you go straight to the human resources rather than, the regular people. The person that you're supposed to go to first. You're like, I'm going to human resources.
Yeah,
You're not
that's
supposed-
like, damn, you jumped over everybody's head.
Going to everybody. Just like, HR right now.
Right now, she's gonna make this happen for me.
Right.
It's like, no, that's a weird one. I never want to be responsible for another person not being able to feed their family or themselves. So if it's not that bad and it's just me being annoyed, that's the only way I would go to human resources is if, like, you try to give me a rape or something. Something crazy.
Right.
Like the horror stories that you hear in workplaces. Other than that, no. Not because somebody said you don't got friends. You go to, I'm going straight to HR.
Right.
Like, nope.
Nope.
It's funny. Well, speaking of things, you were speaking of something you didn't like earlier. Levitt and Sons we went to.
Gah. Levitt and Sons.
And you wanted to go there so fucking bad.
Okay, so Levitt and Sons Deli here in Portland, right? And it was, when we first moved here, it was brand new. And I applied to work there. And I showed up at about 8 in the morning for an interview. Mr. Levitt man, he was making some cookies. And he was wrapping them. He wraps them. What he would do is he'll lay out all the cookies on a sheet of plastic, and then he'll take his knife and then he'll cut the plastic with another layer of plastic on top, and then he'll fold them over. And we're sitting there talking, and he didn't give me a job, Mr. Levitt. It was one of the first places. It was one of the first places that I actually applied to. Whenever we moved here, we were living in the crack motel, and I was like, "Oh, that's fine." But I always wanted to go there because it did look cool in there. It looked fun, but it was brand new. It wasn't even that whole building wasn't even done yet.
Right.
Like, it was just his portion of it, and then the place next to it, that place is condos right now. I believe.
Yeah.
That wasn't even built yet. It was just fence, This place looks completely different than whenever we moved here. But, I waited forever to try it because I was like, okay, we should try it. Us, you and I, together, we should do it. And then one day you're like, oh, I tried that Levitt and Sons. And I was like, oh, no, you tried it without me. I can't believe it.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have tried it without Kirk. I literally had to go there. I had a certain amount of time to do a certain amount of things. I went to Chipotle, actually. That's where I wanted to go. And then when I got there, they were like, oh, we don't have staff, so you can't order food here.
No food here.
Yeah, you have to go online. And it's like, I got a Metro. I can't go online. My data is used up.
Right.
Like, I got to get somewhere with Wi-Fi in order for my phone to work at regular speed. So that's why I went over there. and tried it out, and it was fine. It was nothing spectacular. And then I got you an Italian from there, and you said it was wet.
It was wet. It was the bread was wet, and I believe what you had told me was you had the
Yeah,
vinegar,
I got him the oil and vinegar on the
vinegar
side.
on the side of it, and I just put just a little bit on top of the sandwich, but then the bottom of the sandwich was soaking wet.
Yeah, because that girl was angrily making the sandwich in the first place.
You say she was slapping
She
stuff
was
down.
like, she picked up the salt, then she slammed it down like boom,
Boom.
and she then she slammed down the pepper, and she picked up the cheese, and then she slapped it on there.
Slap it on there.
And the owner was
Ooh,
just
gonna
like,
slap it.
"Do you need?
Oh, slap it.
You gotta stop that. You gotta cut that out." The owner was just looking at her like, "Do you need help?"
Right.
Like, no, she don't need help. She
don't
don't
wanna-
want to speak to you.
Right.
It seems
She's
like
angry. She's angry girl.
she's angry as fuck.
See,
right
if
now.
I would have been hired, I would have been happy man. Not
Mm-hmm.
angry girl, happy man.
But that's the thing. That's the crazy part about it is people don't realize when they pass up an employee that you may be passing up one of the best, most loyal employees you could ever had, and you settling for something else just because of a resume or because of whatever other reason. So I don't know.
Well, the reason was possibly because we did not have an address at the time.
Right.
So that always,
But like, give people a chance. Like
Right.
we had to literally like get chances to get where we are today. Like but we still worked our ass off at the same time, and nothing was easy. Like even finding this apartment, and it's not like we live in the best fucking apartment. We live in a small 1-bedroom bullshit apartment. I mean, from some people's standards, they think it's cool, but
right.
I mean, it is what it is.
Right.
But we tried to wake up every single day and look up showings and find showings every day. You had work, you had to go on showings. I had to go on showings. Like
You would go to work, and then I would go to showings, and then you would go to showings. And this showing that we actually did here, we actually were able to meet together. And I
you
think
got
we
off
even
work a little early.
yeah,
that
I got
day,
off of
believe.
work a little bit early, and then I came here, and we met up with the guy that owns the place, and he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." And then the next day we moved in.
And he gave us a chance, and I appreciate him for that
Mm-hmm.
because everybody else didn't really even have real valid reasons. Just was like, no, I'm not sure about them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And
And there was a realty company, a property management company that is local, and we put in our application for them, and then like we would like tell them, hey, we want to apply for this apartment, and they'd be like, okay, well, we have your paperwork, and then they would like call like your references, and basically the first people's whose references like answered,
yeah,
they would give the apartment to.
two first, right?
And we're like, we've asked for 100 apartments from you people, and nobody's
And the guy
nobody's
was
called
like,
back
I'm
yet.
sorry, the truth of the matter is their references answer quicker.
Right.
And you know how that shit works with references. They might be working at the time or doing something. You might not get like people have lives, they are doing things.
Right.
It's like, well, your references didn't answer first, so like what the fuck? So yeah, I don't know. I feel like we had to work our ass off, and then people gave us some chances.
Sure.
So I don't know, but you would have been one of his best fucking workers. So he don't even realize that he fucked up.
Yeah.
Um,
But went there, and it was
oh, what did you get today?
the Cabano.
The Cubano.
And it was not so good. It wasn't very good.
My steak sandwich wasn't very good either.
Oh man, we just
But it was basic. It was a little whatever. It wasn't that big. I was just hungry, so it probably tastes better.
yeah. So I think I'm done with the
11 and
Levitt and
Sons.
Sons. Yeah.
You disappointed.
I waited so long. Maybe whenever because it's been 3 years, 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time. Maybe if I tried it whenever we first got here, I'd be in love with the place.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, they have the rare roast beef, and I like roast beef sandwiches, so I wouldn't mind going there and getting that. But I already bought their sauce, so I can make the shit at home at this point.
Did you get the Italian roast beef sandwich from Anthony's?
I don't think so.
It's good.
I got pasta from Anthony's.
Oh, you gotta get that Italian
bolognese.
roast beef. You gotta get it. Got to get it.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I trust you. You a sandwich man.
Mm-hmm.
You like your Italians. So,
I do. You know what else I like? I like the hair you got.
oh, thank
And
you.
like the little transition there.
Yeah, that was cool. So fucking cool.
You got your hair done,
Yeah,
and
I did. I did get my hair done.
you were you were going to get it done from a professional salon lady,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can say professional just because you own a salon.
right? I think you can.
Okay.
That's professional.
Yeah, that's the definition of
That's your
professional.
profession.
Yeah.
And then a girl that did your hair previously, she was like, "Oh, I'll do your hair," and then you're like, "Okay," and you got your hair done. It was super quick. It looks really cool.
Yeah, I actually found this girl because the school that I go to, I saw a girl in her. I had been looking at these girls at school. Like I was
Like, wait.
I was been creeping on them the whole time I got to that school, and I'm like, her hair braided, but I don't like how that looked. That looked like she don't know what she doing. So I found a girl, and her hair was really nice, and I was like, who did that? And she was like, my auntie, and I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, I'll give you her number, and she gave me her number, and I called her, and her husband answered, and was like, oh, hair, okay, and he was like, then he gave me her cell phone number, talked to her, she was like, yeah, and she did it, and pretty much the pandemic kind of stopped all that because I wasn't sure how comfortable that they would feel with me coming in their house.
They're just doing it, on the side, and they probably have been doing each other's hair for a long time, and
yeah. So yeah,
And
she
then
does it on the side.
Their
for
family's
extra
there,
money.
and you're like,
she got little kids,
right?
So I wasn't sure if the COVID thing was going to be a problem. So I kind of bagged off from her the entire pandemic.
Right.
And now that things are a little bit back to normal, seemed like COVID then left the building.
Yeah.
I don't gotta wear a mask or nothing.
Nope, not
But
yet.
yeah, so I went over, and the first time I went over there, I talked to her family. Her kids were there. She had her daughter helping with the hair. It was a nice family environment, and I felt really comfortable. So I really liked her. So this time I went over there, and it was the same thing. They're always cooking in the kitchen, and it smells good in the house. And then they're doing my hair. It was 3.5 hours to get this done, and
Which is quick.
very quick. Normally is
I couldn't. You know
like
how long?
5 hours, a 5.5 hour braid.
Yeah.
Especially because she was pregnant, so she needed to. So she did it in 3.5 hours, and probably a half hour of that was she had to like eat and sit down for a second. So it was really quick, actually.
Right. Yeah. Some days I wish my hair took 3.5 hours
No,
to
you
get
don't.
done. What?
Unless you're getting braids or you got like long dreadlocks, your guy's hair don't take that long.
You don't think I what kind of hairstyle can I get braids? You think?
Twin.
Next week.
They got those wigs that you can buy and put on, and it's already braids on them.
But that's not what I'm looking for. Can I get that wig, but then get it redone into the hair that I want?
No,
No. Okay.
don't work that way.
Well, that's a bummer. You're
You're a guy. You don't need hair, and you're too damn old for braids.
yeah. Well, you remember Robin Big?
Mm-hmm.
One of the funniest things about the TV show Robin Big was whenever Big Black, he would get a wig,
Yeah.
and it didn't matter if it was like a little like hair or like a long hair whenever he was Black Velvet,
Yeah,
his
he didn't
stripper, and he'd be waving it around, and it's the thing that a bald man, given the opportunity to flaunt hair, he will do it. he will you give me the Bieber swoop, I'll be doing this all day long, Carmen.
Well, it's a weird thing because I don't have I guess people don't feel as bad for a bald man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I understand you man, I want to have hair and I wanted to have this. I didn't want to be bald, but you're a guy.
Right.
Guys typically wear shorter hair anyway, so it's not a thing. It's
Right.
like a girl who bald and they like cancer. A guy who bald, he's just bald.
He's just a bald guy.
He's just a bald guy. It's
Right.
not really a thing. Like people don't judge you or look at you differently when you're a guy and you're bald. So, the world seems to have no sympathy for you. It's like
Yeah.
no one's judging you. Why the fuck you care? Yeah. That's what they say, right? People, you dress up, you make your hair look nice, you put on nice clothes. It's not for yourself necessarily. Sometimes it is, but it's to look presentable to other people.
Right.
It's a status symbol. It's all that
But
stuff.
also, yeah, for yourself too, I would say.
Yeah, I mean,
Your
you want to feel good.
self-confidence,
Yeah,
you know?
self-confidence. You want to feel good and all that, but different trends and things like that, like most of that stuff, especially growing up, is for other people more than yourself.
Right.
Like, I'm comfortable with some jogging pants and a shirt on,
Yeah.
but if I go out somewhere, it's like, okay,
Why does a
I
little
look for
boy
an
need to
outfit.
have
I gotta
Why does a little boy need to have a suit to go to church?
right.
Like, that's kind of weird, right?
Yeah. I was just watching the 85 South show, and Clayton English just had a baby. And he was like, I guess they got to go to the christening.
Christening.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm not putting no dress shirt on a baby. He's like, you know how that look? And they necks all small. He's like, they gonna put a dress shirt on them? He's like, that look crazy. I don't like that. He's like, why are you putting that on a baby? A dress shirt.
That is weird.
He's like, he's only a couple weeks old. You gonna put a dress shirt on him? He's like,
He said, nope. Not gonna do it.
Yeah, and he don't have no real reason. Just, I don't think that looks okay. Babies don't need suits and dress shirts on.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because people spend all this money on kids when they're small. And it's like, dude, half that shit they're not going to wear. They're going to grow out of it before they can even get to it.
Yeah, I've known parents with the
So
second,
stupid.
the third kid, and they're like, "Yeah, it's
All their
my
clothes are
first
brand
son.
new."
It's my first son, but you know, I had all daughters before, but my first son's gonna be wearing girl clothes."
Oh, yeah, that's super common. That's super common when I grew up, that you would see kids with, like, pink light up shoes on. It's like, damn.
Right.
Now, we wasn't in that situation.
Uh-huh.
But it was definitely a lot of kids in the neighborhood. You would see this kid running down. This is how you knew his family, his household was all fucked up. You see him running down the street, shoes untied on the wrong foot, and they pink. You're like, what the?
But what
Or
about
panties on. Or you would see little kids with little boys with panties on a lot too.
what about the kid that's the mistake, and like you like decide the accidental child? And you decided that you weren't going to have any more kids, and then you're like, oh no, now I have to get all that stuff again.
Yeah,
You know, like I should have saved it all.
that was Latrice.
Uh-huh.
That was that situation.
Really?
My mom got her tubes tied after she had me, and Latrice still got through.
Oh no.
And then she had to have them retied and burnt in order to have it completely fixed. But
Right.
she thought the initial procedure, like, not gonna have kids, and then Tree slipped on through.
Huh. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's rare that happens, but that's why they burn them, to make sure, like, there's no way. But I don't know. And I'm sure they had to get stuff all over again for her, so that probably sucked for them.
The bummer.
Yeah.
Super bummer.
My dad was decent enough. He was able to buy clothes and shit.
Oh, sure.
But we wasn't the kids, like, running down the street with Tony got panties on, because that's just what's in the house at the time. Like, that's ridiculous.
Well, we don't have any kids, but
we don't. But we're going to. Look
we,
at Kirk.
we don't have any kids.
But
However,
we're trying for a kid next year.
okay. However, you know, we buy ourselves nice shoes, right?
Yeah.
And you were on the interwebs, and you saw somebody post about some White Castle shoes,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Oh, those are disgusting." They're like, "Somebody got to be joking right now." White Castle shoes, and they're made by Puma,
Yeah.
right? Like, known for like a lot of like soccer stuff, and you know, highly athletic,
Yeah. Cleats.
making White Castle shoes, Carmen. Well, I met you after work, and I was like, "Hey, Carmen, I bought some new shoes because the shoes that I have currently they're getting worn out. You know, I wear them.
Oh no, you're not wearing.
Huh?
You're not wearing those. You got to
What?
get other shoes to wear.
Other
Okay,
than-
continue the joke.
And so I was like, okay, so I need to get some shoes. And I was like, I got some shoes, and then I showed them to you, and they were White Castle shoes. by Puma, right? And you're like, oh my God. I saw this on the internet today. And I was like, so did I. Isn't it amazing? And, I actually happened across them on accident. What had happened was I saw an ad for gummy bear Pumas. Mm-hmm. Right?
They got gummy bear Pumas?
Yeah, they got Haribo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Pumas, and I was like, well, what up? And then I was looking on their site, and then I said collabs, and then it said White Castle, and I was like, well, let me check that out. And I was like, well, those kinds of shoes, because they have two different kinds, they're making two different kinds of White Castle shoes, Carmen.
Yeah.
And the one kind was really ugly, and then the other one was really cool. And so I was like, I gotta get those shoes, and then I got them immediately.
Yeah.
Gonna be here Monday.
You're excited?
I am excited.
I think it's goofy, but I think it's funny. I think that's you're a goofball. You have a sense of humor that's different than most people.
Well, so to get to the shoes, basically, so I sent the shoes whenever I got them. I sent the shoes to a friend of mine, Tim. A screenshot of the shoes, and he sent me a message that said OMG. I think I sent these shoes to a lot of people,
Yeah.
and I think he was the only one that was really appreciative of them.
Because it's obnoxious.
Well, the reason why Tim liked them is Tim is a fan of the Beastie Boys, and if you like the Beastie Boys, you know that they talk about White Castle from time to time. White Castle fries only come in one size. I chill at White Castle because it's the best, but I'm fly at Fatburger when I'm way out west. They talk about White Castle. So, and then
See, that's another group right there that talk about food in their song.
That's right. And then after I sent him the shoes, he sent me a picture of a guy who customized a bike. And it's a Beastie Boys bike. He has a nice seat with like some stitching on there. Beastie Boys logo. It says most illest. And on the crossbars, it says White Castle on it. I was like, Carmen, look at it. And then you were like, ugh, disgusting. But that's the reason why. So my favorite movie is The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
Yeah.
My favorite musician, David Bowie.
Yeah.
Now, is my favorite movie The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou because all of the David Bowie songs in Portuguese? Or is my favorite musician David Bowie because all of the David Bowie songs in Portuguese in Steve Zissou, right? They kind of work together. Just like...
No, I think you like David Bowie before you saw the Steve Zissou movie. Probably.
I don't think so. I think the Steve Zissou took me there, and then, I went the rest of the way. But, White Castle's the same way. Right? It's the same. It's symbiotic.
I don't know. I don't like
them.
the idea of wearing other, like, I don't know. It got to be something hidden. Like the shirt that I have on right now. Like you said, it's kind of based off the Babysitter theme books and
the Babysitter Club.
Yeah, the Babysitter Club books. It's kind of a theme after that, but like just the actual like word, like White Castle on something
Right.
that's
White
the
Castle
obnoxious
logo.
Yeah.
100 years because it's 100 years anniversary. That's why these shoes are coming out.
Yeah.
And there's going to be something else dropping that I'm told in September. So can't wait for that.
Well, I feel like you already know how I feel. I feel like you work your ass off day to day to day to day. So you deserve to buy cool things.
Right.
So if you think they're cool, you deserve to buy that. You deserve to buy whatever the fuck you want because you work for it. That's how I feel. So unless it's extremely outrageous, it's not too crazy.
What would be the tipping point?
What, as far as the amount?
No, what would be too outrageous? You mean outrageous as in a price?
Yeah.
Or outrageous as in like, you can't do
Outrageous
that.
is in a price.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean. Like, you can't
But
do that.
you...
Like, for example, if you would have bought those White Castle shoes for $800, like, have
Yeah.
you lost your fucking mind? That's fucking crazy.
You think that that's crazy?
Yeah, absolutely. We got to sit down and reevaluate some things because I know you didn't just spend $800 on White Castle shoes.
On White Castle shoes? But what if one day they're worth maybe $8,000?
But they're not going to be.
You don't know.
Kirk, I don't think so. That's funny.
Yeah, it's like the memorabilia market's not going to be what you actually think it's going to be.
Exactly.
Right.
Some things you'd be surprised. You never know. Those David Bowie shoes you got, maybe they might be worth something one day.
Maybe one day.
Maybe. I don't think the White Castle market.
You don't think so?
No. Mm-mm.
I don't know. I think I'm seeing a trend here. I always wanted to get into collecting things, but I never knew what I could get into collecting.
You a collector, man. You got DVDs, you got records. What else you need to collect? You got pictures and art. You already collect a lot of things.
You think so?
Kirk,
See, I don't feel like I collect anything.
I got you that record player and you was like, no, don't get it
And I
because
was
it's
like-
going
I
to
said,
create a
"Don't do it."
problem.
I said it's gonna create a problem. Don't get me the record player. And then what happened?
I had to get it for him because I know how much he loved music. So I knew it was a great gift and he had to have one.
And it just keeps growing, and it's growing, and
Yeah, you got a lot of records now.
I'm pretty satisfied with what I have, though. I don't have
It's
any.
time to double crate. He on the second crate now.
Second crate. I'm happy that I haven't gotten into the point to where, because there's been some times where I'm at the record store and I was like, oh, I wouldn't mind that, but it's like, nah, I don't need it. I haven't gotten to that point yet.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in kind of whenever I was like getting a lot of DVDs and stuff, there was some things that were kind of silly.
Yeah.
I got some rare stuff though.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean,
I was into the DVD thing for a minute too.
I had a copy of Brazil on the Criterion, and it was. I paid. This is back in maybe 2009. I probably paid $50 for it.
Mm-hmm.
It was too much for a single movie,
Yeah.
but it was Brazil, right? And you can only get it, and you couldn't stream it. You know, right now you can go to Amazon and pretty much, buy anything you want for, $4.
I can just straight stream it off of Google.
Yeah, you can steal it also, I guess. But, back then you couldn't do that. It was harder back then. At least I didn't know how. I still don't know how to, steal things.
What, like shows?
Right.
Well,
I don't need to.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm not going to give up my tricks, my little strategies, but
Right.
pretty much you can watch anything you type in on Google. It's a million different sites where you can pretty much watch any TV show that has ever come out.
Mm-hmm.
It's some specific ones that's hard to get depending on how old they are, but like the majority of stuff you can just get it right offline.
Uh-huh.
Right off Google. Like it's so many people posting things and so many different sites up. Like yeah, the access to, especially if you got like me, I need the Wi-Fi because I got that Metro PCS.
You got the Metro phone.
But I can sit here and watch TV. I just have so much access to content with having unlimited internet.
Right.
So, I don't know. I know that's not a problem you have with your fancy T-Mobile.
Nope. I get unlimited data, and it's free unlimited data because I have phoned with T-Mobile for since forever.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I would like to take 2 seconds to applaud you for dinner last night.
Oh,
I really enjoyed dinner last night. Kirk made us some enchiladas and rice and corn and beans, and it was great.
mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it. I was very pleased.
Yeah, right.
I'm not lying to you.
Uh-huh.
I am honestly not lying to you. I was impressed.
Why?
I was impressed because I don't know.
I was impressed because I don't know.
I think I don't know. I think I thought those burritos were different. I thought they're the little cheap frozen ones that I got that you were gonna turn into enchiladas, and so that's where my head was with it.
Right.
And then it was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just gotta trust me, man.
And I like your whole strategy. You got the Uncle Ben's rice in a bag, cooked it right in the bag, popped it out. It was hot, really hot, and I like my food hot.
Mm-hmm.
You did the corn, and I was impressed.
did the corn, wasn't just corn, had some little rotel in there, you know, and then I had a little bit extra rotel, put it in the refried beans. Yeah. You know, I got some tricks, and, you know, typically whenever I do make food, you like to make fun of it. So, you know, I get discouraged.
Sometimes, but that's the thing. See, that's the thing. And we got to get into this conversation.
Okay.
Because you like to fuck with me all day long. And then I tell you, like, I talk about your food or something, and then you get all bent out of shape. But you mess with me all day long.
Right.
Sometimes I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, but, you know, sometimes you're like, oh, yeah, but then you did this, and then I make you a breakfast sandwich, and then you recooked the egg.
Oh, yeah, I did do that.
Right.
I'm sorry. Oh, my God.
Unbelievably rude.
Oh, my God.
Like, I spent the time, you were off doing your hair, you know, it wasn't braided, so you actually had to work in it, you know, and then, like, I make you this breakfast sandwich, and then you look at it, and you're like, it looks really good. And then you make another egg for it. And I'm like, yeah, that's the last time.
I'm so sorry. You make me feel like a horrible person when you say that. Kirk's a really sweet person. And maybe I am a little overcritical with food because that's all I do all day is cook.
Right.
So, yeah, maybe. I'm sorry. But dinner last night was great.
Well, you're welcome.
And I appreciate it. So, thank you. But, yeah, so you got these tricks that you like to do. I'm always really baffled that Kirk comes up with different things to fuck with me constantly. Like, what are you doing? Just sitting there like, I'm gonna do this?
So with you, some of the things I do, I'll like mess with my face, and then I'll like flick, like as if I'm like flicking things off of my face.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't like that.
But there's not really anything that I'm flicking.
Yeah, but like, why are you doing that?
Or
like, why?
Or
I don't get it.
You don't like it if I just like I'm just sitting there and I'm moving my fingers
like Kirk does. That's what he does while you're talking.
Right? Yeah. You find that's
rude.
Strange.
No, neither are. That's rude.
I don't think that it's rude. I'm just
it's not
moving my
rude.
fingers. Yeah, it could be just, you know.
He's messing with me. He's doing things to mess with me.
Well, and then
the tops of my waters and stuff. You
I
like to
flick
throw
them across the room. Yeah, it's just fun. And then the other night, I found out that if you put type in how to pronounce and then a word on the Google, it will have a little thing that you can click on the search, and it will pronounce the word.
Right.
Right. And then so, like, I was like typing in words and pressing them.
Yeah.
Boobs. Right.
And you think that
Boobs.
shit is so fucking funny.
Yeah. And I just kept pressing it, and you're like, stop it. I think you like held it in as long as you could. But yeah, you got to keep, I always say whenever I do come up with these things, you always got to keep them guessing. And I think that that's good. You know, I don't want you to think that the things that I do are stale. So I always got to come up with something new. Whenever we're driving around, we drive a Grand Marquis, and if I see anything that's a Panther platform car, which is, you know, the Grand Marquis, the Crown Victoria, and the Lincoln Town Car, I'll say, brother, you know, I'll yell it and I'll wave to him. Be like, brother, and you'll be like, stop it, don't do that. And see, I don't do that anymore because it got played out.
Yeah, right. You just did it. You just did it.
I know, but
Kirk has a problem. He like to take pictures of these weird license plates.
Yeah,
so
license plate.
you got thousands of pictures.
I'm on a scavenger hunt with me and a group of friends. We're getting pictures of custom license plates, and
you guys are cute.
It's fun.
You guys are so cute.
Yeah.
That's funny.
You gotta get through the day somehow, right?
No, I know. No, I think it's cool. I'm just boring. I'm just a boring old lady.
Right.
I like to watch my reality shows, and I've been watching a lot of reality TV lately.
Right.
Different stuff online. I want you to get into some of the stuff, but you won't.
The Challenge.
The Challenge is one, but like I watched that the podcast 85 South show. You don't want to watch that.
I see.
There's some funny stuff on there.
I understand, but it's funny to you, A, B, I don't even watch the podcast that I want to watch. See, I used to.
Oh yeah, I know we were way heavy on it.
I used to work nights by myself at a hotel,
Yeah.
And so all I would do for my 8-hour shift is listen to, this is something we can talk about. I listened to podcasts. One of them was Your Mom's House. Last week you mentioned Tom Segura was on Whitney Cummings' Good For You podcast, right? Mm-hmm. And something's going on with this Your Mom's House, this Tom Segura man. So I went through the year that I worked at the hotel. I went through hundreds of episodes of Your Mom's House. I went way back. So I'm pretty up to date, and a lot of sometimes something that they always bring up, just like I imagine you and we talk about the same things, from time to time. One of them
definitely
is celebrities that have been famous or hugely famous for so long that kind of lose touch with reality,
Yeah.
And one of those people is Garth Brooks, right?
Yeah.
And
that's so funny.
Something happened. Well, they'd be like, Garth Brooks, he used to look like a normal guy. Now he's got like this like black beard. He's way too old to have a black beard.
Yeah.
And they're like, is it painted on? What's going on? And then like the way that he like makes these like social media posts about like, oh, how I feel like, he's like saving the world and stuff. They're like, he looks like he steals families, And
Jesus Christ.
So Tom Segura had on Instagram commented on something that Garth Brooks, did.
Yeah.
One of his posts.
Right.
And what do you call that? Instad? Is it a post on Instagram?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Something he grammed?
Yeah.
But he said something, and then he had like hundreds of comments below. Tom Segura did under his comment.
Right.
Because that's how it works. You can see a comment, then you can comment on the comment,
It's
but
like,
you can
it's
also comment
to
on the
YouTube.
post.
You can reply to comments on
Right.
YouTube. Right.
Yeah. And he got to a point to where all these people were commenting on that, and then he couldn't see the comments anymore. And then he couldn't comment on the comment anymore. And so Tom Segura went on his podcast, Your Mom's House, and he didn't tell anybody to do anything, but he kind of insinuated, there's something that they can do. So now if you go on Instagram, on any of like Garth Brooks posts.
So what you're saying is Garth Brooks blocked Tom Segura on Instagram.
Blocked him, restricted him
on Instagram.
Right. He can still view it.
He can't make
a comment. He can't do anything.
He restricted him.
So now you go to any of Garth Brooks' posts, and there's thousands of comments, and they're all like inside jokes from Your Mom's House.
Yeah, Tom Segura is more. Tom Segura is more
thousands
popular.
and thousands of posts of just nothing, unless you knew about the show.
Right.
Like you wouldn't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, but some of them do. Like if you actually look at the comments, you'll see like "Let Tom back," "Let Tom Segura back." So his name is in there. So yeah, you'll see.
Free Tommy Buns. Yeah.
So that's pretty funny. He has a larger fan base than, I won't say a larger fan base, but Tom Segura is more popular than a Garth Brooks right now.
I wouldn't say that.
You don't think so?
No.
Garth Brooks is a legend. He's always been out there, but he's not
when he performs, he sells stadiums. Tom Segura sells theaters.
Well, it don't look like his fans coming out for him because Tom Segura fans didn't littered his whole damn shit.
But they do. When Garth Brooks has a concert, it gets sent to movie theaters.
Yeah, but is that the fan base that's on comments tweeting on Instagram though?
No. What you're saying is, but in live performances?
Yeah.
Garth Brooks.
I know how big he is. But I feel like with this social media shit, Tom Segura is more popular than he is.
You also, you're talking about Instagram. You got to think, how many,
Tom Segura does a podcast
50,
that people watch. Like he's
how many
more
50, rather than 30, 20 somethings are on the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a different avenue.
Yeah. But that's what's popular right now. The internet, social media.
In that eyes.
Yeah.
In those eyes.
Right.
But not in the whole scheme of things.
No, absolutely not.
Right.
But Garth Brooks is on the internet and he don't realize that you your ass better be. You don't restrict Tom Segura. Look what just happened to you.
Look what happened to you. And it's a dedicated fan base.
Right.
Like if it wasn't like fans that were like, oh, why would I do that? You know?
Yeah.
Like we're not gonna take the effort, but they're
like,
bringing
we
people in
want-
on the joke.
Yeah, we love this, and they like
Right.
telling other people like, "Hey."
And
did
there's
you-"
people commenting on the comments of the people's comments, and
It's
they're feeding
horrible.
it through. They just feed into
That's what
it.
I'm saying. Garth wasn't ready for that type of smoke.
No, it's hilarious.
It is really funny. Well, I think that's the end.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
all we got.
I think that's all we got.
Okay.
Well, this was a good podcast. I really liked sitting down talking to you again, of course, even though we talk all the time. It's always nice to talk to the people. Thank you for watching another episode of the Sweet Gravy Podcast. If you have any questions or suggestions, please go to sweetgravypod@gmail.com. You can also check us out on YouTube and every other streaming platform.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.